For thousands of years, the story of Jason and the Argonauts has been sold as the ancient equivalent of the Avengers, a team of superpowered demigods uniting for glory. But this is a lie. The Argo expedition was not a noble quest. It was a heist. It was a ruthless syndicate built for revenge and greed. And it ended in a slaughter so horrifying, it convinced the gods that the entire heroic generation needed to be wiped out. It all starts with a coup and a lot of paranoia. In the city of Iolkos, a man named Peleus steals the throne from his brother. Years later, his nephew Jason shows up, wearing one sandal and demanding his crown. Peleus is a career politician. He doesn't want to hand over his power, so he plays a game of high-stakes redirection. He tells Jason, "You want the throne? Fine. Prove you're a king. Go to the edge of the known world, to the hostile kingdom of Colchis, and bring back the Golden Fleece." The fleece is a divine artifact. It represents ultimate wealth. Peleus knows it's a suicide mission. No one comes back alive from Colchis. But Jason is ambitious. He builds a massive, state-of-the-art ship called the Argo. Then he recruits the absolute deadliest weapons in Greece, 50 demigods. He brings Heracles, the strongest man alive. He brings Atalanta, a peerless sniper. He brings mind readers, wind controllers, and absolute monsters of war. They aren't doing this for justice. They want gold, fame, and a legendary reputation. The voyage is a nightmare. They have to pass through the clashing rocks, massive sea cliffs that smash together like giant teeth. Most captains would turn back, but the Argonauts use a bird as a scout. They wait for the rocks to snap shut on the bird's tail, and then they row like possessed men during the reset. They barely make it, the rocks clipping the back of their ship. This is the first sign. These men aren't heroes. They are gamblers. When they finally reach Colchis, the Greek brute force hits a brick wall. King Aetes mocks them. He says, "You can have the fleece. Just yoke 2 fire-breathing bulls with bronze hooves, plow a field, and plant the teeth of a dragon." The Argonauts freeze. This is a critical moment. The greatest warriors on Earth are completely useless. Heracles steps forward, but the bulls are literal furnaces. Their breath melts bronze. If Heracles gets close, he's charbroiled. Atalanta draws her bow, but her arrows would simply vanish in the heat. Brute force cannot beat ancient magic. The legendary Greek syndicate is paralyzed. They are far from home, outgunned, and about to fail. But from the palace balcony, a teenager is watching. Her name is Medea. She is the king's daughter, and she is a priestess of Hecate. She is a master of dark magic, lethal toxins, and psychological warfare. Thanks to a little push from the love goddess Aphrodite, Medea becomes obsessed with Jason. She corners him in secret. She offers him a treasonous deal. "I will make you survive," Medea tells him. "I will give you the secrets to win. But in exchange, you swear to the gods that you will take me away and make me your queen." Jason looks at this terrifying, powerful girl and agrees instantly. He sees a solution to his problem. He swears absolute loyalty. From this moment on, the mighty Greek heroes do absolutely nothing. Medea takes over. She hands Jason a magical ointment made from the blood of Prometheus. "Rub this on your skin," she says. "The fire cannot touch you." Jason walks up to the bulls. They blast him with white-hot flame, but he doesn't even flinch. He yokes them and plows the field. Then, he plants the dragon teeth. Immediately, an army of undead skeletal warriors erupts from the dirt, but Medea already gave him the win. "Do not fight them," she warned. "They have no minds. Throw a heavy stone into the middle of the crowd." Jason throws a boulder. The skeletons think they are being attacked by each other. They turn their swords inward. In minutes, the undead army hacks itself to pieces. Jason wins the trial. But King Aetes is furious. He realizes his daughter has betrayed him. He orders his army to burn the Greek ship and slaughter the Argonauts at dawn. The heist is falling apart. Medea realizes she has to burn her own life to save Jason. She leads him to the sacred grove where a massive dragon that never sleeps is coiled around the fleece. Medea steps forward and begins chanting a dark, hypnotic lullaby. She drops liquid poison made from black herbs into the dragon's eyes until the monster collapses. Jason just steps over the beast and pulls the fleece from the tree. They run to the ship and set sail, but the extraction turns into a bloodbath. The Colchian navy pursues them, led by Medea's own brother Apsyrtus. The Greeks are trapped, so Medea commits her first true atrocity. She tricks her brother into a secret meeting on a deserted island. As he walks toward her, Jason steps out from the shadows and murders him in cold blood. Then, to ensure their escape, Medea chops her brother's body into pieces and throws the remains into the ocean. She knows her father is a man of tradition. He will have to stop the entire navy to collect every piece of his son for a proper burial. It is a sickening, highly effective move. The Greeks watch this from the deck of the Argo in absolute horrified silence. Heracles, who has killed countless monsters, looks at this teenage girl with genuine fear. Here's the thing. The Argonauts weren't shocked because it was murder. They were shocked because they realized they were just the sidekicks in Medea's horror movie. They have the fleece, but their heroic illusion is gone. They return to Iolkos. Jason drops the fleece at his uncle's feet. "I did it," Jason says. "Now give me my throne." Peleus just laughs. "The fleece is nice," Peleus says, "but I have the army. Get out." Jason is impotent again, and once again he looks at Medea to fix it. Medea walks into the palace and finds Peleus's daughters. She tells them, "I have a magic spell that can reverse aging. I can make your father a young man again." To prove it, she takes an old, dying ram. She chops it into pieces and boils it in a cauldron with magical herbs. Suddenly, a tiny young lamb jumps out of the steam. The daughters are amazed. That night, they go to their father's bed. Desperate to save him from old age, they cut their own father to pieces and throw him into Medea's boiling cauldron. Medea just stands there watching the bubbles. There is no spell. The daughters have just murdered the king. It is a brilliant, ruthless assassination, but it backfires. The citizens of Iolkos are disgusted by the butchery. They don't crown Jason. They run him out of town. The syndicate dissolves in shame. Jason and Medea are forced to flee to Corinth as disgraced refugees. 10 years pass. Medea has given Jason 2 sons. She has sacrificed everything for him, but Jason is a creature of status. He's tired of being a refugee. The king of Corinth approaches him with a deal. "Marry my daughter, Princess Glauce," the king says. "You'll be the heir to my throne, but you have to get rid of the witch." Jason makes the most arrogant logic error in history. He accepts. He walks up to Medea and says, "I'm divorcing you. I'm marrying the princess tomorrow." Medea stares at him. "I killed my brother for you," she says. "I killed your uncle for you. I gave you everything." Jason just shrugs. "Medea, be reasonable. It's just politics, don't be emotional. I'm doing this so our kids can have royal connections. You're a foreigner, a barbarian. You're lucky I'm even letting you stay in the city." He treats the most dangerous woman in the ancient world like a bad habit. Medea does not cry. She does not beg. She realizes her entire life was a lie, and she decides that simply killing Jason is not enough. Death is a release. She wants him to suffer for eternity. Medea crafts a stunning golden wedding gown. She laces the fabric with a volatile poison. She sends it to the new princess as a peace offering. The princess, vain and happy, puts the dress on. The second the silk touches her skin, it ignites into a magical fire. The poison melts the flesh from her bones. The king of Corinth rushes in and grabs his daughter to save her. The poison transfers to his skin. They both melt into a puddle of ash and bone on the palace floor. But Medea is not finished. She needs to ensure Jason has no future, no legacy. She walks into the nursery. She looks at her 2 sons. She knows that if she leaves them, the people of Corinth will kill them anyway. She draws a knife. "It is better that I, who gave them life, should take it," she whispers. She executes her own children. When Jason finally reaches the palace, the bride is ash and his children are dead. Medea is already gone. She escapes into the sky in a chariot pulled by dragons, leaving Jason kneeling in the blood of his own ambition. "You monster!" he screams at the sky. But Medea just looks down. "The pain is mine as well," she says. "But it is worth it to see you broken." Jason's life is over. He has no throne, no wife, no kids. He wanders the earth as a beggar, a ghost of a man. Decades later, an old man, he returns to the beach where the rotting Argo is propped up. He sits in the shadow of the ship, remembering the day he thought he was a god. Suddenly, a rotting beam snaps and crushes his skull. The great hero dies a meaningless, pathetic death, killed by the wreckage of his own past. From the summit of Olympus, Zeus watched the entire catastrophe. He saw that the demigods were no longer protectors. They were weaponized tools of greed and vengeance. They were destabilizing the mortal world. They were a failed experiment. Zeus realized that heroic age was a failure. It was time for a purge. It was time for a war so massive it would wipe these corrupted heroes from the face of the earth. A war that would start with a golden apple and end with the burning of Troy. The gods began moving the pieces into place. The bloodlines of the heroes were about to be shut down permanently. If you want to see the dark truth about how the gods planned the Trojan War to wipe the slate clean, hit that subscribe button right now. Comment "reset" below if you're ready for the final war. I'll see you in the next myth.